Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. The ceremony will begin in 5 minutes. Before the ceremony begins, we ask that you silence all electronic devices and please refrain from smoking during the ceremony. Distinguished guests, friends, and family members of Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, and of Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, on behalf of Major General Colin Tooley and Command Sergeant Major Brian Haight of the United States Maneuver Center of Excellence, and Brigadier General Jim Kersey and Command Sergeant Major Christopher Donaldson of the United States Army Infantry School, we welcome you to today's graduation ceremony. Thank you for taking the time to share this great day with us. Before we start today's ceremony, would the veterans in the audience please stand?
3, 2.
Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for these veterans who have kept our country free in times of peace and conflict. Thank you. For 250 years, American infantry soldiers have quietly gone about their duty that has taken them to historic battlefields on many of the Earth's continents. Infantry soldiers stood fast on the bloody battlefields within our own borders, creating a republic and saving a union. They defeated our nation's enemies in Mexico, Cuba, and China. These warriors scorned the Kaiser in the trenches of France and defeated fascism in Germany and Italy. They set the rising sun of Imperial Japan on 1,000 islands in the Pacific and stood firm against the communists in the mountains and the snows of Korea and in the steamy jungles of Southeast Asia. Infantry soldiers won the Cold War and preserved peace in the far-reaching places like South Korea and Europe by their vigilant presence and spread freedom in Grenada, Panama, Kuwait, and Somalia with their sweat and blood. Infantry soldiers left the comfort of their families, endured the most demanding conditions of cold and heat and dust and mud, of desert and jungle to fight our nation's wars. These young soldiers, soon to be in front of you today, all volunteers, joined the Army and the infantry. They chose to serve their nation knowing that they may be deployed around the world by their commander-in-chief to commemorate their sacrifices of those who went before and to tangibly link the commitment of today's soldiers with their legendary predecessors. This beautiful parade ground was seeded with soil taken from significant battlefields in our nation's history. On March 19, 2009, a hero descended of a hero of these battles spread. These battles include Yorktown, Antietam, Sozan, Corregidor, Normandy, San Terezno, Korea, LZ X-Ray, Iraq, and Afghanistan. When these young men march proudly past you, they will actually be walking on the ground hallowed by their infantry forebears. One of those leaders was Second Lieutenant Daniel K. Inouye, later Senator Inouye from Hawaii. On September 12, 2014, soil was spread on this parade field from San Terezno, Italy, and the parade field was officially named Inouye Field in his honor. In 1997, he was awarded the Medal of Honor for his heroic actions on 21 April 1945 at San Terezno. As a platoon leader in the 442nd Regimental Combat Team, and despite being critically wounded, Second Lieutenant Inouye, by his gallant, aggressive tactics and his indomitable leadership, led his platoon to advance through fierce resistance and capture the heavily defended and fortified ridge known as Col Musatello outside the town of San Terezno, Italy. The purpose of today's ceremony is to recognize the commitment of the soldiers in formation today who have chosen to serve their country as infantry soldiers. This review is the last official formation of the training cycle. Not everyone successfully completes this difficult period of training, but those in the formation today represent disciplined, motivated, and physically fit soldiers who exemplify the Army's 7 core values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, integrity, and personal courage. These soldiers are imbued with the warrior ethos and displayed the tenets of putting the mission first, never accepting defeat, never quitting, and never leaving behind a fallen comrade. This is an important day, and they can take great pride in their accomplishments. This ceremony marks the culmination of months of long and arduous training, the results of which these are superb infantry soldiers prepared to take the places of infantry units around the world. Like you, we are proud of their accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, during the next few moments, there will be loud noises and smoke from the use of pyrotechnics. On the far side of the parade field, the World War II Company Street serves as a constant reminder of a time-honored tradition and values of America's greatest generation, those infantry soldiers who walked before us. In just a few moments, out from the past will emerge our country's next greatest generation, today's infantry warrior. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Infantry Rifle Squad, the foundation of the Army's decisive force and the embodiment of the warrior ethos. Infantry soldiers have the most challenging job of any member of the armed forces. They carry the fight to the enemy around the world. They are the standard bearer for all the armies of the world, leading by example in the fight to defend freedom against ruthless terror. With the increased firepower and lethality of today's weapons, every infantry soldier must be trained to standard in over 200 tasks to defeat our enemies on any battlefield. The infantry soldiers graduating today are accomplished marksmen, able to engage the enemy day and night. They understand how to shoot, move, and communicate as a team. They are adaptable warriors who can fight as a mounted force from Strykers or Bradleys, from the sky as airborne or air assault, and whose training is the basis for our elite special operations warriors. Most importantly, they are patriots who in a time of war raised their right hand and swore an oath to God and country to defend the Constitution of the United States against any enemy. If called upon to fight building to building in an urban terrain, to clear the ridges of mountains, or to deliver aid and provide security in areas stricken with natural disaster, these warriors make the difference in defending our nation. Ladies and gentlemen, the Infantry Rifle Squad. The squad is led by a staff sergeant. They are armed with an M7 rifle. The M7 rifle is the latest evolution of service rifle, utilizing improved ambidextrous controls and the 6.8 by 51 Fury cartridge that is designed to defeat the latest in adversary body armor. The squad has 2 fire teams. Each fire team is led by a sergeant. They are also armed with an M7 rifle. This rifle is fully modular with an integrated receiver rail system that can mount the M157 fire control optic, infrared laser designator used to engage targets at night. Each fire team has 1 automatic rifleman. They are armed with an M250 squad automatic weapon. This system replaces legacy systems, providing improved firepower with a sustained rate of fire of 600 rounds per minute and weighing 6 pounds lighter than the previous weapon system, the M249 squad automatic weapon. Each fire team has 1 grenadier. They are armed with an M7 rifle and an M320 grenade launcher. It fires a variety of 40mm grenades to include high explosive, illumination, colored smoke, and buckshot. The M320 provides an invaluable indirect fire capability to the infantry squad. The remaining soldier in each fire team is the rifleman. They are armed with an M7 rifle. Additionally, each one of these soldiers is wearing the integrated head protection system with the AN-PVS-31 binocular night vision device. This night vision device allows the soldier to see in low or no light conditions, coupled with the laser designator on their weapon. They can place effective fire on all targets at night. On their torso, they are wearing the 2nd generation modular scalable vest MSV, which consists of 4 armored plates capable of stopping small arms fire and fragmentation. Additionally, they are wearing ballistic eye protection, knee and elbow pads, and a water hydration system. Ladies and gentlemen, all members of today's rifle squad are from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment. This is the modern-day warrior, armed and equipped to fight and win anywhere, anytime, and any type of terrain against any enemy. These infantry soldiers are trained and ready to defend our country and preserve our way of life. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in a round of applause for the United States Infantry Squad. Ladies and gentlemen, now marching onto the parade field are the infantry soldiers from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, and Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment. The company commander for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment is Captain Cole Smith, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant William Holcroft. The company commander for Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is Captain Kativan Anthony, and the company first sergeant is First Sergeant Robert Newman. The commander of troops for today's ceremony is Captain Simon Mutai, Executive Officer of 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the invocation and remain standing for the arrival of the official party. 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment's chaplain will offer the invocation.
Let's pray. Sovereign God, I invite your presence here this morning for the graduation ceremony of these two companies. First, I celebrate these soldiers standing before us who have fought hard these 18 weeks to complete their OSIT training. Lord, I'm also thankful for their drill sergeants who diligently trained each one of them, strengthening the capabilities of our infantry, our army, and ultimately our country. Next, Father, I ask that your favor will go before each of our graduates here today. Bless them, Lord. Make each of them mentally tough, physically strong, and morally straight as they each go on to their next assignment. Finally, Lord, thank you for the strength and perseverance given to each one here to make them successful. We celebrate these graduates. We celebrate their families and their friends. We ask all these things, Lord, in your holy and precious name. Amen.
The official party for today's ceremony consists of the 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment's commander, Lieutenant Colonel Kyle Burns, and the battalion Command Sergeant Major William Richardson.
South, present all! So the command is formed.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem.
South, order all!
Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Detachment, center, march! Sir, what's us to be honored and call as a present? South, present all! Detachment, present all!
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the national anthem. Gentlemen, if you are not in uniform, please remove your headgear. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated.
Order, go! South, order on! Red, red!
The infantry soldiers graduating today come from many parts of the United States. The flags of the 50 states and 6 territories displayed at the museum symbolize the broad base of our national defense. The companies standing before you have conducted a turning blue ceremony because blue is the color of the infantry. This ceremony culminated with each graduating soldier receiving the coveted symbols of an infantry soldier, the cross rifle insignia with blue background discs, and the infantry blue cord. Turning blue signifies the rite of passage of these soldiers to carry the finest traditions of the infantry. The infantry cross rifles, blue discs, and blue cord mark these soldiers as qualified to be the finest soldiers in the world, United States Army infantry soldiers. The soldiers most responsible for the training of these infantry soldiers are the drill sergeants, who the Department of the Army carefully selects. The drill sergeant campaign hat and badge have been a stoic symbol of professionalism and pride since 1962. At this time, the drill sergeant of the cycle for Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Drill Sergeant Matthew Ferraris, will recite the Drill Sergeant Creed.
The Drill Sergeant's Creed. I am a drill sergeant. I will assist each individual in their efforts to become a highly motivated, well-disciplined, physically and mentally fit soldier, capable of defeating any enemy on today's modern battlefield. I will instill pride in all I train, pride in self, in the Army, and in country. I will insist that each soldier meets and maintains the Army standards of military bearing and courtesy, consistent with the highest traditions of the U.S. Army. I will lead by example, never requiring a soldier to attempt any task that I would not do myself. But first, last, and always, I am an American soldier, sworn to defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, both foreign and domestic. I am a drill sergeant. This will defend.
At this time, the official party will present the awards. The drill sergeant of the cycle and distinguished honor graduates will each receive the Army Achievement Medal. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, is Drill Sergeant Jesus Ariano from Sanford, North Carolina. Drill Sergeant Jesus Ariano's spouse, Celia Ariano, is being presented a flower bouquet in recognition of the constant support given to their spouse. The Distinguished Honor Graduate from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, is Private First Class Ian Ulrich from Clarkstown, Washington. Private First Class Ian Ulrich, his follow-on assignment is Special Forces Assessment and Selection at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Receiving the Drill Sergeant of the Cycle Award from Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Drill Sergeant Matthew Ferraris from Manorville, New York. Drill Sergeant Matthew Ferraris' spouse, Corinne Ferraris, is being presented a bouquet of flowers in recognition of the constant support given to their spouse. The Distinguished Honor Graduate from Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is Specialist Tyler Mello from Hanford, California. Specialist Tyler Mello's follow-on assignment is Special Forces Assessment and Selection at Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in giving these fine soldiers a round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. Ladies and gentlemen, the commander of 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, Lieutenant Colonel Kyle Burns.
Hey, real quick, first, all the soldiers on the field, rest. Say again, rest. Drill sergeants, you guys rest too, don't yell at them. All right, it's hot out there. Hey, down here at Fort Benning, one of the big things that we do is motivation. It's important. It's what sets the infantry apart. It's what allows us to close. So this is what I need. I need the support from everybody in these stands. If you got a soldier, a loved one, or somebody out here on this field that you care about, I don't care if you clap your hands, scream, stomp your feet, or do all three, but I want you to let them hear it on the field. Hey, we're motivated now. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And we're ready to send it. Sound like a dang on stampede. So good morning. On behalf of Major General Tooley and Command Sergeant Major Haight, the command team of the Maneuver Center of Excellence, I just want to extend a warm welcome to our distinguished guests, veterans, and family members. Appreciate everybody joining us here at the National Infantry Museum on this fantastic Southern Georgia day. Now, we are here to recognize and celebrate the men and women from Max Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, and Dog Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, who after months of relentless training stand ready to join the U.S. Army Infantry, the world's most premier and respected fighting force. Back in 1775, American patriots at Lexington and Concord stood against the world's most powerful army and declared that freedom was worth fighting for. Those patriots didn't just spark a revolution, they established a covenant that remains sacred to this day. For 2.5 centuries, through every generation and every crucible, the United States Infantry has honored that covenant to close with the enemy, to hold the ground, and to be the final negotiator of America's wars in order to preserve our way of life and our families' futures. The warriors before you today inherit this unbroken chain of service and sacrifice and are going to be the guardians that ensure we enjoy another 250 years of freedom. About 5 months ago, over 400 civilians came through the gates here at Fort Benning carrying nothing but potential and patriotism. Today, there are 308 of America's finest standing before you, transformed, tempered, and ready. These infantry soldiers have been trained not only in tactics and skills, but also in the core values that define the very spirit of our infantry: duty, honor, integrity, and courage. They have learned that to embrace these values, it requires more than just physical strength. It demands mental toughness, unwavering character, and grit. They have earned the right to carry on the legacy of our infantry, a legacy built by generations of men and women who stood ready to answer the call. These men and women before you have navigated this part of their journey with resilience and pride. That journey would not have been possible without the support, love, and guidance from all of you in these stands today. Thank you for your steadfast support, for the sacrifices you too have made, and for the faith you have shown in these graduates. It's your encouragement and patience that have carried them all through. You are the backbone of our military family, and we are deeply grateful for your unwavering support and commitment to this great nation. You know, it takes a special kind of human to be able to coach, teach, and produce the future of our infantry. Transforming civilian volunteers into infantry soldiers in a mere 5-month time frame is not just a challenging task, but an essential, deliberate act that we cannot fail, compromise, or fall short in. The drill sergeants before you are some of the best the Army has to offer, and they have been the source that have molded your sons and daughters into our future warfighters. They didn't just teach these warriors how to fight, they taught them how to win. So let's give them a round, please. Now, I'm the last thing standing between you and your loved ones, but I'd be remiss if I didn't impart a few words of wisdom to these soldiers on this field. So, Axe and Dog Company, listen up. Your journey here has been far from easy. You've endured physical challenges, crushed through mental barriers, and overcome obstacles that less than 1% of our nation dare to face. We are proud of you, but remain hungry. Make the choice every day to become better, to sharpen your edge, to chase perfection in your warrior task. Be bold and carry your heads high now and always. You represent the best of us, so honor it. As you step forward into the next chapter, remember that being a soldier in the infantry is not just a job, but a way of life. It's a culture. It's a calling. It's a calling to always go further, faster, and harder than you think you can go. To be comfortable being uncomfortable, to close with and destroy our enemies in the crucible of ground combat. You are America's protectors, so carry your cross rifles forward into the fray, and when asked who we will send, always be ready to respond with a resounding roar, "I am the infantry, follow me." Thank you again for everybody joining us today. Godspeed, and long live the infantry. Follow me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Soldier's Creed is the standard for all soldiers to live by. The Soldier's Creed helps soldiers understand that despite their very diverse backgrounds, all soldiers are warriors and members of a team. The Soldier of the Cycle from Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, Private First Class Ian Ulrich will recite the Soldier's Creed.
The Soldier's Creed!
Infantry soldiers of 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, fully trained, prepared to take their position in infantry units around the world. Stand backs up. Pass! In review!
From the four, from the right, right turn, back,
Ladies and gentlemen, as the soldiers pass to your front, we invite you to take pictures, but please remain in your seats. When the American flag passes to your front, we ask that you rise and that the gentlemen remove their headgear. Once the American flag has passed your location, you may be seated. Additionally, we ask that you please remain in the stands until the playing of the Army song. Commander of troops for today's ceremony is Captain Simon Mutai from 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment. Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment is commanded by Captain Cole Smith from Washington, D.C. The platoon sergeant for 1st Platoon is Sergeant First Class Tanita Smith from Truth or Consequences, New Mexico. Platoon Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Jess Weiss from Slapout, Oklahoma. The Platoon Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Troy Shippa from Worcester, Massachusetts. The First Sergeant for Delta Company, 2nd Battalion, 58th Infantry Regiment, is First Sergeant William Holcroft from Houston, Texas. The Color Sergeant is Sergeant First Class Michael Robinson from Greenwood, Indiana. Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment, is commanded by Captain Kativan Anthony from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. The First Platoon Sergeant is Sergeant First Class Richard Isom from Kingsland, Georgia. The Platoon Sergeant for 2nd Platoon is Staff Sergeant Logan Evans from Hootville, Tennessee. The Platoon Sergeant for 3rd Platoon is Sergeant First Class Cody Peacock from Palatka, Florida. The The First Sergeant for Alpha Company, 2nd Battalion, 19th Infantry Regiment is First Sergeant Robert Newman from Halifax, Virginia. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the playing of the Army song. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 198th Infantry Brigade Commander, Colonel Brendan Fitzgerald, and the Brigade Command Sergeant Major Frank Enriquez, we thank you for attending today's graduation ceremony. You may now join your soldier in the formation area in front of